So, law firms often struggle with understanding the financial health of their law firms. And likewise, they struggle with financial forecasting. Why? Because they don't control the timing or the value of their assets, their cases. So, how does legal tech, specifically Litify, solve for this?
There's a couple of different things that I think go into this forecasting question, as you're phrasing it. One is the ability to actually connect to some of your financial systems of record, right? You're ingesting money, you're taking in settlements, you're recording fees. You need to have the ability, and Litify has a wonderful integration ability to connect to those systems. Whatever your financial back end is, to connect to it and be able to transfer information seamlessly in real time, you actually have your hands on the money, so to speak. That's one part of it. The other part of it is to ensure that you have, again, real-time access to information. And you need to know what is happening so you can make decisions about what the firm should or shouldn't be doing. That, again, access to information is crucial when you're talking about forecasting. Another part of this, I think, brings to mind some other things that we've seen law firms do, right? And it comes in a couple of different flavors. One is to be able to look at your entire case inventory and all of the tens or hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of cases you have, and look back at them and see what are people doing right. How can we take the learnings from where we are successful across all of our files and bring them back in so that you can deliver an experience much like a fast food place or a Starbucks. Well, when you're walking in what you're getting, or exactly what it's going to be. It's going to taste the same. It's going to take the same amount of time to prepare. How do you take the learning from what you have and be able to forecast that when I get a case of a certain type, it's going to take me this long to deliver it, and I'm going to do these actions along the way. Looking over your entire inventory is key to get there. Firms who do that, who take that holistic view with their reports of what they're doing across the entire firm, particularly in a historical sense, right? So it's not just what did I do right now, but over the last year, 3 years, 5 years, looking back over all that information and saying, okay, I actually now know what it takes to settle a case of this nature. Premises, motor vehicle. I know through these sets of facts what to expect. That's how you actually have forecasting. As you said, Ari, the assets are out of your control. But what you can control is your reaction. When you get a case in, you know the facts, you know what's going on. The insurance company is to a certain extent, and adjusters will vary. But through that set of information, and by comparing that with your historicals, again, access to information, comparing that to your historicals, you can actually look back and say, I now know what to expect. One last sort of story comes to mind in this area, which is, we were talking to a firm who they were suffering a problem where they found one of their offices where they had a disproportionate number of cases that were getting turned down early in the process. They would get signed up, they would hit the attorney's desk. There was sort of a disproportionate number from one of their offices that were getting turned down. What they found was that the volume of case in that office was actually tremendously high, and the lawyers were simply cherry picking. And it was hard to see at first because the average case load was static. It wasn't like it spiked or it dropped, it was static, but the attorneys were churning cases quickly, and they were just kicking ones that they perceived to be difficult or low value out the door. And honestly, they shouldn't have been doing, right? There should have been a system of checks and balances. Litify actually can provide that technology of that process, that actual approval process to go through so that when a case comes in, what to expect. You don't lose cases out the bottom because someone decided it was difficult. You don't get the case settled quickly for pennies on the dollar because they wanted to get it out of their way. Every case that comes in, you can take a look at what type of case it is, look at your historical information, say, this is what I should expect. And if something were to deviate from it, you actually can take an action and respond to it.